King Joe Bucks asks, why would you think you deserve infinite torture? Why will an all-loving God, who knows the outcome of everyone's life before birth, create you if he knows you'll end up in hell?
King Joe Bucks, thank you for this question. This question, or there's really two questions here. These questions are very deep, and there's a lot of weight to them, and a lot more smarter people out there have written more, answered it better, answered more accurately, have more credence to talk on this. So I'm just going to give you my 2 cents on it, and from what I understand, and maybe some examples that I could explain. It's going to be a little longer. Okay, the first question is, why do you think you deserve an infinite torture? And he's referring to hell, if you guys are listening. And the reason why I think is hell is so severe, infinity of torture, is because let me just paint it like this. Pretend we sat across each other, just like this, and I decided to punch you in the face, right? Right in the face. Now, I think there would be some consequences to me punching you in the face, and if it's your average, if you're just, watching the YouTube, maybe I'll get in trouble with the law, maybe I'll get sued, maybe I have to pay some bills, some bad things would happen. I don't think anything too bad that would wreck my life would happen. I think that's the consequences of that. Now, let's change it. Instead of me punching you, say I punched a police officer, and I went up to the police officer, I went, PAH! And I just hit him with the Conor McGregor hit. And say, what would happen to me if I hit a police officer? Well, I would definitely be thrown in jail, right? I would definitely be in court. I would definitely get fined. I would the severity, the punishments would be a little bit higher because it's a police officer now. Now, let's take it one step further and say I went up to Barack Obama, right? I went to President Obama at this time, maybe not in a few months, but if you're watching this now, I walk to President Obama and I'm like, what's up, baby? What's up, fool? Pow! And I punch him right in the face. What do you think would happen to me? Bro, I'm gone. I'm out of here. You will never see me again. They will take me and they'll handcuff me, black bag me, and drag me somewhere, Guantanamo, somewhere, and you will never hear me again. And I will be erased from this face of the planet. And that's the thing. The higher up you go, as far as someone with authority and someone with power and someone with might and all and just all that, the higher your punishment gets, the more severe your punishment gets. Now, in regards to this question, how much power does God have? How much authority does God have? How much more infinitely more God is compared to us? And when we sin, that's like us punching him in the face. Sins are crimes against God, and so the punishment has to equal not the crime, but the person offended. And that's why infinite hell, and that's why infinite torture, as you put it, is what's going to happen, because he's infinitely more authoritative, more powerful than us. Now, that's the first question. The second question, create if someone goes to hell. Why would he create someone if he goes to hell? Now let me answer this with another example I got from my friend Les Lamphere. He runs the Reformed Pub. He's a quick shout out to you guys. Probably one of the biggest Reformed podcasts there are out there, and there's a Facebook group too, part of. Anyway, he gave me this example, and it's an awesome example, I think. Pretend like there is a king, and he's a good and wise and rich king, and he had daughters. He had 5 daughters, beautiful young daughters, probably 12, 13, 15, 18, and 20. I don't know if that was 5. He has 5 beautiful young daughters, and he was a good and wise king, and the daughters were gracious and loving and kind, and he was on a boat, right? A fat Mac Daddy boat with gold and lots of food, and the turkey and the pinnacle bet and the all kinds of stuff, all kinds of food, and just the finest foods. And there's wine, good, rich wine, and there's everything. It was all decked out, super ornate, super huge, beautiful ship, beautiful boat, beautiful things on it. Anyway, pretend they're sailing, right? And then off in the distance come some pirates. Yeah, that's right, Jack Sparrow pirates. Yar matey! And they come on and they get on the boat. And they just start. They tie up the family. They tie up the daughters. They tie up the king, and they bind him to the mast. And he watches as these pirates drink all the food, trash the boat, just basically party, get drunk on all the wine, just basically trash the boat. And then they say they do something despicable. These pirates come up to the 5 daughters, and they abuse them, and they hurt them, and they do terrible things. They rape them, and then they kill them. kill these daughters. And then they let the king watch the whole time. And they're laughing, having a good time. They get drunk off the wine. They're partying still. They get so drunk that they fall overboard. And so the king gets loose. What if the king gets loose and looks overboard and sees every single one of these pirates drowning? And they're too drunk to swim, and they're dying. And so we would ask the question, is the king, would anyone say the king is wrong for letting those guys drown after what they did to him, after what they did to his family, after what they did to all his world here? If that king let them all drown, would anyone say anything? Would anyone complain? No, because he's in the right. They were wrong. They did these terrible things, so they deserve to die. Now, what if the king pulls one or two of them or three of them up? Right? There's a lot of pirates. He pulls a few up and he saves them from the water, and they're there. Would anyone say that is a terrible king for letting all the other ones die, all the other pirates die, but he's a terrible king for only saving 3? No. Because the king, in his grace and his mercy and his love, will save those ones that he just wanted to save. And those other ones who died, they deserve to die. They did all these crimes. Now, let me translate all of this stuff. The king is obviously God. The ship, the boat, the daughters, that's obviously his world and how he created everything. And we are the pirates. And we wrecked everything, and we sinned, and we committed crimes against God, this almighty, all-powerful God. And so when we say, how could we get mad? How would we love this God who sends people to hell? No, that's not it. The question's framed wrong. God sends no one to hell. We choose hell. We choose God, or we choose sin. We choose to go there. We choose to hate God. We choose to love our sin, and we choose ultimately destruction. And so when God lets us down that path, he's merely granting us our wishes. That when he saves us in his grace and his mercy and his love, he's actually working against our wishes. Because this is what we wanted to do. No one could ever fault the love and the grace and the mercy of God. Because at the end of the day, the people saved, they have consequences for their decisions, and God saved them from that. It's just the question's framed wrong. I'm just so grateful that I wasn't left up to my own decisions.